Honda is back with their 471cc parallel twin, but this time with a revamped design. For those of you that don't know, the NX name traces its roots back to the NX650 Dominator, which was a single-cylinder dual sport made back in 1988.
However, this is the successor to the CB500X, and despite what the new name might suggest, you can't call either of these motorcycles a dual sport. Honda has tried to make it a bit more appealing and affordable by launching this bike at a more affordable rate than the Honda CB500X's initial asking price. With added equipment and a new design, is the NX500 the tourer that we've all been waiting for? Well, that's what we're here to find out.
At first glance, the NX500 looks and feels more substantial than the CB500X, featuring a redesigned headlamp, tail lamp and fairing which sits a lot higher and seems a lot wider than before. Taking inspiration from the Transalp, Honda has designed a fairing that shares a similar silhouette.
Looks can be subjective, but I do think the NX500 is a good looking motorcycle and can easily fly under the radar should you pick a darker shade. Now, a lot of what you see on this motorcycle doesn't come standard or cheap, but more on that later.
Honda took notes from the CB500X and has made improvements with its successor. Gone is the old negative LCD, and there is a new TFT sourced from the Transalp that's bright enough and legible enough on a sunny afternoon. This TFT also supports smartphone connectivity via Honda's RoadSync app should you find the need to use turn-by-turn navigation. However, Honda hasn't added a distance to empty readout, which feels like a sore miss in an ADV designed for touring. What has been added though is traction control that can be turned off at the press of a button, although switchable ABS still remains out of the picture. The buttons feel tactile and have great feedback even with gloves on. What makes them even better than before is they're now backlit, making them easier to use at night.
Updates to the bodywork aside, Honda has now replaced the wheels with ones that feature a new design and are also 1.4 kgs lighter than the ones used before. I for one think that the NX500 looks quite dashing in the shade of red. With a seat height of 830mm and a narrower seat, shorter riders would find it quite easy to flat-foot this motorcycle, say in comparison to a Royal Enfield Himalayan.
The NX500 feels quite comfortable to ride and at low speeds smoothens out most bumps. Maneuvering this motorcycle at low speeds or through traffic was an easy affair. Despite the taller stance, the NX500 doesn't feel too tall or intimidating to ride. I had the opportunity to ride the Honda Transalp right before the NX500, and though both are very easy to ride, the NX500 is just a lot more forgiving and easier to live with. Heat management is excellent, and despite it being summer in Mumbai, the NX500 seemed to dissipate heat rather well. The seat too is well supported and will keep saddle soreness at bay. If I had to nitpick, I'd probably prefer wider foot pegs for those long hours in the saddle, but nothing I can't get used to or easily replace via aftermarket options. In terms of equipment, the bike gets a 41mm big piston Showa fork, which is an improvement over the telescopic fork on the old CB500X. The preload adjustable monoshock is similar, although Honda claims the spring rate and damping has been fine-tuned for better results. We did find the rear shock to feel a bit soft and bouncy when the bike is pushed hard, but it is quite comfortable in normal riding conditions. The braking too has seen an improvement with an additional disc at the front to help with extra stopping power. In our tests, the NX500 performed really well with strong stopping power, but the brake feel and feedback is a bit soft and dull until you give the lever a strong squeeze. The 471cc parallel twin engine returns unchanged from the CB500X apart from minor tweaks to the fueling. Honda also claims an overall 3 kg weight reduction from before. The engine and gearbox combination are a peach and work in tandem to alleviate any stress you'd face commuting. An easygoing motor combined with a smooth gearbox and a light clutch left me feeling lively even after doing around 100 km inside the city. In fact, I can only imagine what a comfortable mile muncher this would make given its credentials and mannerisms.
Honda was never known for its pricing. What they are known for is making reliable and well-built motorcycles. On paper, the NX500 might seem like quite a bad bargain, but its strengths cannot be experienced on paper. Ride the NX and it will win you over with its easygoing charm and nature. Its relaxed engine and gearbox setup make gobbling miles a comfortable endeavor. In fact, its soft seat and relaxed position only add to that. This isn't the sort of motorcycle that will win you over in a 5-minute blast. The NX is an experience worth having. We often associate performance and flamboyance with luxury, but being able to ride without breaking a sweat or the promise of not having to visit your nearest service center very often is a luxury in itself that very few of us get to experience. The NX is that experience, and once you've felt it, it feels well worth the money. Though all is not gold and Honda does charge a bomb for its accessories, the bike we're riding here today is loaded with accessories worth over 90,000 rupees. And paying all that extra money for this already costly affair seems like a bit of a stretch. However, if your pockets are deep enough and your hunger for travel hasn't been satiated, this could very well be the motorcycle you need.